management, and advertisers.
All right, what's up, everybody? A very happy Thursday. Welcome. It is Pushing the Limits. Thank you for joining us on my personal YouTube page at PTL Radio Show, the local FM/AM dial KSHP in Las Vegas, of course, the Occupy Democrats Network, the Washington Press Network. We're on X, we're on Twitch, we're on Twitter, X. Didn't I just say that? X, yes. We're everywhere, and we appreciate you being a part of the show. So there's a lot to get to today. I mean, we're in safe hands with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with this measles outbreak, right? I mean, it makes me feel really, really fuzzy inside to know that RFK Jr. is going to protect us. We're going to talk a little bit about that later. Starmer, that's right, the prime minister visiting Donald Trump at the White House today. In a short period of time, Donald Trump still explained to the American people that he doesn't know how tariffs work and who pays for them. Said that he didn't remember calling Zelensky a dictator, among other things. So to talk to us about this, they have the #1 podcast in the country. That's right. They beat Joe Rogan, and I'm going to keep saying that over and over and over again. We always love having Ron Filipkowski joining us from Midas Touch on the show. Ron, good to see you again, as always, my friend. How are you?
Good. Doing good. I just reading the news about the big Epstein files release. I was looking at the fallout. What a joke that was.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that, because, they've been talking about how all these big names are going to be on this Epstein list, and there's going to be, clear and present, I guess you could call it clear and present evidence of all these former presidents and celebrities in Hollywood. I mean, all this buildup to this.
This has been for a long time, like the MAGA Super Bowl. The release of the Epstein files, if you had them to rank the top 10 conspiracies of the ones that are the most important to them, it's probably #1. It's probably been #1 for a long time. So this is a big moment. So when Trump came in and promised to release these files, they were all geeked up because, like you said, they expected handcuffs on Bill Clinton by now. They expected half of Hollywood to be incarcerated, by this time of February, and it hasn't happened, and they're wanting to know why. They thought, when Pam Bondi and Kash Patel get in there, all hell's going to break loose on this Epstein stuff, right? So then she promised that she was supposed to release it to Luna. Anna Paulina Luna, the Florida congressperson. She is the one who's in charge of the committee that requested the Epstein files, the House committee. So she got a letter from Pam Bondi basically saying the FBI says they're not releasing everything right now. So they're just refusing to release it. Then all hell broke loose. They were screaming and yelling, but then a lot of the right-wing conspiracy theorists said, well, that's okay because they're probably getting arrest warrants. That's probably the reason for the delay. They're getting all these arrest warrants and they're going to round people up. And I was just laughing at them. This was last night. So then after they went nuts, apparently Pam Bondi, to satisfy them, reversed her position and said, okay, we're going to release some. So the question is, what is some and what does this mean? Well, it turns out what they released is almost nothing. They released a tiny amount of material, and they released it to 6 right-wing influencers like Libs of TikTok, Jack Posobiec. They had to come there and pick it up, and they made a big show how we got the Epstein files. So it's people like Jack Posobiec go down to DOJ to pick up whatever they just released. The whole thing is just a complete clown show. No one's going to get arrested.
Just pathetic. Jack is an idiot, by the way. I just wanted to say that on the record. So let's talk a little bit, though, about this Starmer visit. I wanted to talk to you about this UK Prime Minister because in a short period of time, we learned that Starmer had to correct Donald Trump on conditions of British aid, very similar to some instances of how there had to be corrections with Macron the other day. Trump proved to the world, once again, he doesn't know how tariffs work and he doesn't know how they're paid for. And when he was asked about Zelensky being a dictator, do you still think he's a dictator? Either he's a liar or he's senile because he said he didn't remember, which obviously he does. I think that's a joke. What do you make of this visit and some of those things I just mentioned, embarrassing himself on the world stage once again?
Yeah, so I'll start with the last part first. this is a situation where Republican congressmen and senators were really pissed off that he called Zelensky a dictator. None of them agreed with that. Even the people who don't like Zelensky disagreed with that statement. And so he heard from a lot of them. And it's like, look, we've got enough fires to put out. We're dealing with Musk. We can't deal with this right now. So I think that you're not going to hear that from Trump again because of that, and of course he will never admit a mistake, or he will never say he was wrong. Those are things Donald Trump has never done in his entire life. He's never apologized, and he's never admitted he's wrong, and he's never admitted that he's failed at something. He's perfect, right? He will never do those three things. So he can't go in there today and say, no, I was wrong. I shouldn't have, like most humans would do. I went too far on that. I regret that choice of words. He's not a dictator. I just want him to have elections. That's what a normal human thinking person says. But of course, what does Trump say? No, he can't do that. So he has to go, I don't remember saying that. Did I say it? I don't think I said that. He said it on video at CPAC.
Right.
And he wrote it in a true social post in writing. Zelensky is a dictator on his own website. So yeah, I mean, this is typical. And then, yes, he has no idea the way the global economy works. You're right. He had to be corrected on Macron about the aid to Ukraine and the percentages. The thing is, he's used to lying to, like, in Fox interviews, or to his sycophants around him, or to Trump rally people where he could just say whatever he wants, or even to our media. Our media is never going to correct him. But now he's got to say these lies in front of people who know shit, like Keir Starmer, like Emmanuel Macron, and who aren't going to sit there and take it. And
right.
And both of them interrupted. I mean, they were like, no, that's not true. Correcting him repeatedly. And it's not a situation where Trump can do with a reporter or something, shut up, sit down and shut up. He can't do that to them. So he has to actually, like, listen to them correcting him. And he just has no clue. He doesn't know how tariffs work. So he issued another statement this morning that apparently now the 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico that were paused for 30 days are now going into effect, Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah. We'll see. And he's upping the China tariff from 10% to 20%. That's all supposed to happen next week. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I want to dive a little deeper into this with you, because in the last few weeks, Donald Trump has offered Vladimir Putin concessions, as we know, calling Zelensky a dictator and saying that Ukraine, quote, started this, which we know that they didn't. How dangerous are the times that we are in right now, Ron, where if in fact he gives Putin and somehow there's some land that he's able to control in Ukraine, and he gets what he wants, which is Ukraine not allowed into NATO. This is really the whole reason why Putin invaded Ukraine to begin with, responsible, by the way, for hundreds of thousands of innocent people dying. How dangerous at times are we living in now, where when I mean Donald Trump, can actually offer concessions and a victory to Vladimir Putin? And what will stop Putin from doing this again?
Yeah, what John Bolton said this week, I thought, was the most insightful comment about this. Of course, John Bolton was Trump's national security advisor his first term. He said that all of this is a pre-planned design to pull the United States out of NATO. All of this talk, the dictator, all this stuff, and I believe that is correct. I believe that has always been Vladimir Putin's lifelong dream since he was in his 30s as a KGB agent. He said his goal always was, if he could do one thing in life, it would be to break up NATO. And now he's found the guy who can do it for him. Because in Putin's lifetime, NATO has doubled in size. It's added twice. It's got twice as many countries. It's more powerful, stronger, and richer of an alliance than ever, until the day Donald Trump walked into the Oval Office, when the whole thing could come apart. So I think the most encouraging news that I've seen is, number one, Zelensky changed the deal on the mineral rights and the compensation. I read the new deal. It's quite a bit different than what Trump was talking about originally. And it could be something that could actually work out okay for Ukraine, but there's still details that need to be hammered out. But the most encouraging thing was the new German chancellor, Merz, who just got elected. And what do most people do when they win an election? They come out, they give a victory speech, or they talk about positive things moving forward. That's not what he did. He did something very unusual. He walked out and he said, look, we're on our own. We can't count on the United States anymore moving forward for anything. And we've been a little delinquent about that. We've been a little feeling very secure about our situation for a long time, but we can't anymore. We're going to have to start spending more on national defense. We're going to maybe have to form an EU European army of our own and band together and cooperate more, because we can't count on the United States or NATO being there moving forward. And I thought that was very encouraging that he said that, because he has a firm grasp of reality.
Yes, and I think that's what we struggle to find with a lot of MAGA Republicans that are in office today. If you're just joining us, Ron Filipowski from Midas Touch. Let's talk a little bit about the budget. You have Lauren Boebert, who said on social media, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe she said, yeah, no tax on tips. And it turns out it wasn't even in there, not a shred, not one word of that in there. And all these Republicans all across the country that are talking about fiscal responsibility, yet they vote for this bill that'll get us more in debt. What do you make of that?
So what MAGA has, what the right has had for a long time, is a team of paid social media influencers. There's about 25 of them. And they actually, during the inauguration, they were actually in the White House together. They actually got together and they've gotten together and had meetings before. And they're very good. And they lie like crazy, but it's very coordinated. So they have a pre-planned message for something, and they all blast it out at once. They repost each other, and it goes out to millions of people in a short period of time before the Democrats even know what hit them. And this plays out many, many times. And it played out on this. They were the ones who started this, what you said with Boebert. They put out a coordinated, because we monitor these guys, and we saw them all do it in real time when they did it. And I said, oh, here they go. This is their talking point for tonight. So what they said is, Democrats just voted against no tax on tips. Democrats just voted against no tax on overtime. That was the talking point. So they blasted out. And then the next question, after they cast that net out and they get to all the activists, is what members of Congress are going to latch on to this lie? Because it's a complete fabrication. There's nothing in the Republican bill about no tax on tips. Nothing. It's not happening. All you servers out there, all you people in Vegas, anybody listening, you're not getting no tax on tips. It is not in the bill. It's not happening. He lied to you like he always does. And there's nothing about no tax on overtime in the bill. So it's just a complete fabrication by these people. And they know it's a lie. That's the worst part. They absolutely know it's not in the bill. It's not like they're mistaking. So they put it out there, and then they look to see which members of Congress or which Fox TV hosts pick up on the lie. And that's how it spreads. Or Elon Musk often grabs their lie and amplifies it. Well, this one was so preposterous and obviously proved to be a lie that pretty much nobody picked up on it outside of their world, except for two people. Anna Paulina Luna put out the lie, and Lauren Boebert, the two intellectual leaders of the Republican Party.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe they could go to Beetlejuice together tonight. Let's talk a little bit about these MAGA Republicans that seem to care so much about your health care and really the important issues facing the American people. But yet you point this out so well on your social media, which is they care about Mount Rushmore more. They care about renaming a lake or a river more. And you point these things out sarcastically, and it's hilarious. Republicans really caring about you and the really important issues. Can you talk to me about this just over the last few weeks? Some of these elected officials across the country that are doing things that literally nobody cares about.
Yeah, putting him on making his birthday a national holiday was another. Putting a big statue in a national park of him, naming, of course, streets after him. Joe Wilson introduced a bill yesterday to have Trump on a $250 bill, a new bill with Trump's face on it. Every single day they're introducing something. Andy Ogles usually has one a week to honor Trump, to try to get his attention. And it's just preposterous. But You go back to the budget and what you talked about with the healthcare, you know, this is really going to be interesting to watch, because what Republicans passed there is just an outline. There's no specifics in the plan. It's just it's like goals. This is what our goal is, to cut 880 billion from this area of the budget. You know, our goal is to cut taxes by this, but there's no specifics. Those are being hammered out now. Well, not now, because Mike Johnson gave them the rest of the week off again after taking last week off. So they're not doing anything now. But when they come back eventually to work, they will have to then go through and line item this stuff. And John Thune, the majority leader in the Senate, has already said, we're not doing that. What all that drama, all that stuff that the House just passed, the Senate majority leader, Republican, says, oh, we're not doing anything like what they just passed. We're not doing that. So you know where we're headed? We're headed for another continuing resolution. So what that means, what is a continuing resolution? It is just continuing the previous budget. Republicans have been doing continuing resolutions since they took the majority in 2022. The United States government today in 2025 is still operating off Nancy Pelosi's budget that she passed in 2022, because all they're doing is continuing resolutions where they're continuing and adding cost of living and all that to it. But it's still Nancy Pelosi's budget, because they can't pass their own budget. And now they've got 3 weeks left to get this done. And already some of them are saying, I think we're headed to a CR again.
There you go. More proof that Republicans can't govern. I do want to ask you about Enrique Tarrio for a moment, if I may, because I believe he's coming on the show next week. And leader, yeah, and I've been talking to him, and I found this behavior to be despicable, and I'll ask him about it. If you saw the video of him, in a way, kind of stalking Capitol Police Officer Fanone, swearing at him, calling him a coward. Now, here's my take on this, Ron, and I'm curious to get yours. I think he's just looking for viral moments so that he can sell some of his Proud Boy gear. You know, he shows up in his little outfit, wearing his sunglasses indoors. He's got a bunch of right wingers and some of his pals with body cameras, and they're getting ready to record that viral moment. And I think that's really all he cares about. He's just trying to build his brand. What do you say about this?
Yeah, and he got arrested the next day,
right,
outside, because one of the counter protester people was yelling at him, and he grabbed her phone and threw it on the ground. So he got right in front of a cop. So he ended up getting himself arrested. So where he was stalking Fanone was he actually sought those guys out. It was at a conference that the Bulwark was having, and Fanone was one of the speakers, and he showed up at this conference to get in a confrontation with him. Again, yes, they're always filming everything they do, right? Because they're looking for that moment. And I think Ivan Reichen was with him, who is like, Ivan is the little short bald guy who many think is the J6 pipe bomber. Many people on the left believe that he was. He lives in DC. He's a former lieutenant colonel. He's a Michael Flynn acolyte. Hangs around Flynn a lot. So he was the one who brought Tarrio to that conference, was Ivan. And Ivan films everywhere he goes. And so and Ivan also showed up at all the J6 hearings and harassed the witnesses in the hallway. So this is what these guys do. But Enrique doesn't really have a job or a career. You know, he's like a grifter. And yeah, he's trying to parlay some kind of social media influencer career going. But the problem is, and he also has talked about running for Congress too, by the way. But the problem is that a lot of people in MAGA, like, they don't really want to be around him. They don't really like him. He's not very popular even inside MAGA. Yeah. Like he showed up at CPAC and they wouldn't even let him in. True. So he's having a little hard time developing his grifter platform.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. I agree with you. So Ron, what do you got what are you working on today where people can read and subscribe on Midas Touch? What do you got for us today?
Yeah, my Substack, doing my daily recap of the day on the Midas Touch Substack. Working on the Epstein stuff, getting a lot of reaction. Laura Loomer's not happy. I talked to her about this Epstein because she was looking for like the big, a big roundup of people and arrests and everything else. And she found out that they gave it to a handful of influencers and she wasn't included in the influencers. So I'm kind of covering that story, putting all that story together of how all the right is pissed off about the Epstein stuff.
Yeah, that's just too bad. I guess they can't. Well, they'll probably continue to call everybody on the left pedophiles, but that I'm sure that's not going to change. Ron, you're the best. Love what you guys do at Midas Touch. Keep up the #1 podcast in the country. You guys do a great job, and we will catch up with you next week, my friend. Have a great weekend.
Okay, do the same.
Thanks, Ron. There you go. Ron Filipowski, one of the best in the business. Such a smart guy. So good at covering the news every 24 hours. His articles are great, by the way. So please subscribe to Midas Touch and check it out. I also remind all of you, the best way you can, I guess the best word I could come up with is support what we do here. Besides watching, of course, and engagement, is check out my website, pushingthelimits.live, where you could also subscribe for our newsletter. You could also be a member or subscribe, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term, to YouTube at PTL Radio Show. We also sell merchandise up there, shirts, hats, beanies, hats, you name it. We sell it on there, and you can make donations at pushingthelimits.live. Doesn't matter whether it's $5, $10, $20 a month, really whatever you can afford. We greatly appreciate it. So please help us out there. And of course, we're on the YouTube chat as well. We're building quite the community there, and we appreciate all of you in the super chat. If you want a question or a comment read live on the air, I will do that for you today on the super chat on YouTube at PTL Radio Show. So I mentioned with Ron in the interview that they've released a very small portion of the Epstein files. And Attorney General Pam Bondi said that there was this big news that she was going to be releasing from her office the flight logs. Have a listen to this.
One of the things a lot of people are wondering, because you said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk, is when can we see them and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have well over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office.
Wow.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah, what you're going to see hopefully tomorrow is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information.
Ooh.
But it's pretty sick what that man did.
Yeah, pretty sick.
Well,
along with his co-defendant.
Absolutely. And he had help.
The flight logs. Hey, doofuses. Hey, morons. Hey, imbeciles. The flight logs were already released in 2021 as part of the Maxwell trial, you idiots. And guess who was on that flight log list, appearing 7 times? Donald J. Trump, you right-wing buffoons. Wow. A lot of revelations were put forth today. That was huge news. Yeah, nothing, you frickin' morons. Speaking of morons, how about Mr. Tuberville? I want you to listen to an appearance that he made last night on Fox Noise. And Tuberville seemed to really struggle. Have a listen to what he had to say about Trump playing golf and how much work he could get done on the golf course.
Senator, are you for the golden visas where you get $5 million to invest and you get a golden visa? Is that a lot of people want to park a lot of money in the United States. I'm not sure all of them the people I'd want to welcome into the United States, but there'll probably be some vetting. But what's your view on that?
Well, it's a very unusual idea. Only President Trump could come up with that. I've played golf with him before. He comes up with 100 ideas and 18 holes of golf. He's always thinking about something to make things better. He's a business guy. And so we'll see where this ends up. But it's very unusual. But again, at the end of the day, we need to make sure that we bring in good people. If we bring in people that can help this country from being illegal to legal.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people, a lot of money, who are not necessarily good people as well, Senator. But I hear you. We'll see. It's devil's always in the details.
I can't believe I'm agreeing with Laura Ingraham. There are some people in this country with a lot of money that aren't good people, particularly the President of the United States, Elon Musk, and the First Lady, Donald Trump. So, yes, I certainly agree with the evil racist witch, Laura Ingraham. How about Tommy Tuberville? What a really smart, well-thought-out guy. You know, I played president with President Trump, and he's the only guy. He's got 100 different ideas and 18 holes. I think if my math served me right, that's about 2 ideas per hole. And, you know, he's always thinking. He's always trying to make things better for the American people. He's a business guy. You know, he's a business guy. Even though half of his businesses have filed for bankruptcy, he's a business guy. Even though it's very difficult for a casino to file for bankruptcy, he found a way to do it because he's a business guy. He's a business guy. And when I play golf with Donald Trump, did I tell you, Laura, when I play golf with Donald Trump, per hole, he has at least 2 ideas. That's why I said in 18 holes, he's got 100 ideas because he's a business guy, you know, Donald Trump. He's always thinking about something to make things better. $5 million to enter this country. I think it's a brilliant idea. We're going to call it the gold card. And you can also get in to every strip club in the United States of America because it's a gold card. It's $5 million. It's a gold card. He's a business guy. Let me tell you something. Tommy Tuberville is one of the dumbest people you could ever imagine that could be elected into office. Just a moron. And here's another perfect example of that. Again, appearing on the evil racist witch Laura Ingraham show. He forgot what a triangle was. I'm not making this up. Have a listen to this.
Just going to help there. Pete Hegseth has welcomed Doge to come into the military. We have to start in the Pentagon. We need to make a trigon, 3 sides instead of 5 sides in the Pentagon. It is way too big, way overbloated. They have, 40,000 people in the Pentagon, then 100,000 people across the street in Arlington that are making tons of money. We have to cut back and do it for the warfighter. Help the warfighter build equipment, do the things we need to do. We can get the cuts, but we need to continue to do what Pete has done is cut out all the bloat and all the DEI, get our military back to a killing machine, somebody that can protect this country and our allies.
Yeah, somebody who could protect this country and our allies. He went on to say we have to start in the Pentagon. We need to make a trigon, 3 sides instead of 5 sides in the Pentagon. I think it's called a triangle, Mr. Tuberville, you dumb buffoon, you. Speaking of dumb buffoons, how about Habba? So she's wandering around the White House. We don't even know what kind of job she has, if any. She doesn't have a job title, but she's holding press conferences. The only thing she's known for is losing cases for Donald Trump and just being the idiot ditz that she is. So this is Habba also appearing on television yesterday. Boy, they really have the all-stars out, don't they? Attorney General Pam Bondi, Tommy Tuberville, and Miss Habba. This is Habba talking about how the president runs this country like a business. Have a listen to this.
It's pretty common sense.
How about just work? Like, never mind essential role. That's easy. Are you working? Are you working? Are you double dipping? Are you working for another company? And if you cannot say that you are working, you do not have a job pretty much anywhere. And I hope that any boss runs their company the way President Trump is running this country.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because if anybody ran a business, they would want the CEO of their company to make everybody scared, to lie every day, to show no moral compass and no moral dignity, and then have the real CEO of the company only out for himself and nobody else. Yes, that's right, Habba. We want the president to run this country just like his companies, so eventually America will file for bankruptcy too. Yeah, that's exactly what Americans want. They want Trump to run the country just like he runs his companies of selling Bibles. Yeah, that's a wonderful take, Ms. Habba. And this is the point where Habba tries to defend, like so many right-wing idiots who curl themselves into a pretzel. Habba trying to defend Trump, praising Vladimir Putin and calling him bright. Something Habba openly admitted she isn't. She said she'd rather be attractive than bright. Well, she's really showing that to the American people every day. And I guess being attractive is, I guess that's something that some people would consider, I don't know, objective. But anyway, this is Habba talking about Donald Trump's praising of an evil, murderous dictator.
What we have voted, the American people have voted for on November 5th. But that means that, yes, we're going to be tough, but we still want to make money. We still want to be producing. We still want to work with other countries. China's just another example. It's a lot like, Laura, when the president says something like, Putin is bright, or Putin, that doesn't mean he's praising him. That means that he is acknowledging the situation, what is good for America, what is America first. If you say we're not going to have Amazon, we're not going to have anything imported or exported with China, that's not realistic. That's not what he's saying. We want to do business, but it's got to be done the right way. And that is what the president was referring to. But of course, the spin is real, as you know.
Yeah, it's a spin. So when you call an evil, murderous dictator bright, we shouldn't interpret it as he's calling him bright. We should interpret it as something else. And that's just Donald Trump. It's, the same BS happened when Trump talked about the possibility of injecting yourself with disinfectant, and then all the right-wingers out there and the idiots like the Habbas of the world would be, oh, no, he didn't really mean it that way. That's not really what he meant. He was just joking. The way these right-wing morons curl themselves into a pretzel every day when Donald Trump says something stupid every time he is in front of the cameras is mesmerizing to me. It's mesmerizing. It really is. By the way, for the record, for those of you who are wondering, I'm having some tea, and I'm teabagging today. So hopefully that means we could hopefully get Lindsey Graham on the show one of these days. I don't know. But anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is not something that we need to mess with, and that is measles, okay? And RFK Jr. not understanding facts, once again, be okay with, this, because the reason, even though a young child has died, and even though this is very, very rare, and now we have all these cases that have come up, RFK Jr. is here to save the day, Superman. And once again, he proves that he has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. Have a listen at this meeting yesterday with the president and Elon Musk and other dignitaries where he's asked about these measles outbreaks, and he says it's not unusual. Now, I will give you the facts after to prove once again that RFK Jr. is wrong, but have a listen to this Nimrod, the guy who murders bears and then stages bear murders in Central Park and beheads whales. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Bobby, do you want to speak on that?
We are following the measles epidemic every day. I think there's 124 people who have contracted measles at this point, mainly in Gaines County, Texas. Mainly, we're told in the Mennonite community. There are 2 people who have died, but they were watching it, and there are about 20 people hospitalized, mainly for quarantine. We're watching it. We put out a post on it yesterday, and we're going to continue to follow it. Incidentally, there have been 4 measles outbreaks this year. In this country last year, there were 16. So it's not unusual. We have measles outbreaks every year.
You sound a little under the weather yourself.
I have a permanently bad throat.
Yeah, he also has a permanently bad brain. Ladies and gentlemen, measles outbreaks in the United States are considered very rare. RFK Jr. is wrong when he says this is not unusual. Measles was considered eliminated in the United States in 2000. In 2023, we saw 59 cases. In 2024, 285 cases in the entire year. The current outbreak in Texas has already seen over 124 cases since January. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is lying to you. It's one of 2 things. He's either lying or he has absolutely no idea what he's talking about, or possibly both. This is the guy that we wanted in charge of our health. He needs to get his brain examined. Remember, Donald Trump used to always say, if you don't vote for me, you need to get your head examined. No, the person that needs to get their head examined is brainworm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., ladies and gentlemen. It is ridiculous. So here's what I want to do. We are going to take a quick break, but before we do, I do want to go over a few of these super chats that people have been donating, and we appreciate that on our YouTube page, and we appreciate your support. Also, you can go to pushingthelimits.live to make donations as well. Lady Ark says, mark my words, MAGAs are getting scared of the pushback, and they're talking about having MAGAs run as Democrats. Lady Ark, thank you for your donation. Also want to thank Darcy for her donation. Your impersonations cracked me up. Well, I'll continue with those impersonations. I'm still working, by the way, on Donald Trump. My impersonation of Donald Trump is just not there yet. I can't do it. I wish I could. Unfortunately, I can't. The Weirdo, thank you for your donation as well. We appreciate your contribution. The Weirdo says, if there was something newsworthy in the release of the files, then the libs of TikTok would have already posted it. Keep up the good work, brother. Thank you, The Weirdo. That's actually a very on-point thing that you mentioned, and I completely agree with you. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, our in-studio special guest is going to be Leonard Cardinal, who's a lieutenant here in Las Vegas for decades. I want to ask him some legal questions and maybe some questions about this supposed $5 million gold card they're talking about. And we'll take your phone calls coming back, too. Excuse me. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. And again, that number, if you want to be a part of the conversation, 702 221-7283. Your phone calls next, the most interactive show you will find, and we will take your calls next right here on Pushing the Limits, right here on KSHP.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York-style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Kelb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and food. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Kelb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
Have you ever dreamed of having your own radio show or a podcast, but just didn't think it was possible? Well, dreams can come true. Radio U. Radio U is a 5-day course that'll teach you how to acquire your dream show. We'll teach you how to host, how to write commercial, how to interview, how to market, how to write a contract, and most importantly, how to monetize your dream radio show. You'll learn from some of the best in the business with over 75 years in broadcast experience. You'll learn from people like me. And the best part? Every single student will be live on the radio as part of the class. Plus, one student from each class will get their very own radio show. You'll be live on the air right here in Las Vegas. Radio U. The 5-day course is being offered at $699. For more information, give Radio U a call. 702-763-5024. That's 702-763-5024. Or check them out at RadioYou101.com.
It's time to wake up and win the weekend. You're listening to the boss of the big ball. JP the Cat, giving you that grease. Join me every Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time for the live action on Vegas Scoreboard Express on KSHP 107.1 FM and AM 1400. Dive into the game day with my in-depth analysis, expert predictions, and winning plays from the sharpest minds in sports betting. It's more than just placing bets. It's about securing wins. Head over to jptheticket.com and be sure to tune in to KSHP this weekend from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time to ride the winning wave with VSX. Tune in and get your money back from the sports book. All money, all sports, no bull. Miss the live show? Subscribe to Vegas Scoreboard Express on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, and wherever you enjoy your favorite podcasts and radio listening.
All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And, of course, we appreciate all of our loyal listeners and our sponsors, including Jackson's Bar and Grill, located at Flamingo and Jones, home of the Pass the Puck contest, where you could win up to $500 in free slot play just for playing and watching a Vegas Golden Knights game. You can't beat that. Great food, great atmosphere. Please check them out, the official gaming bar of the PTL radio show, Jackson's Bar and Grill. Check out my website, pushingthelimits.live, where you can sign up for the newsletter, sign up for my YouTube page, which is free, subscribe at PTL Radio Show. We also sell PTL gear, shirts, hats, beanies. I get pictures from people wearing it. I love it. Please keep those pictures coming. And also, you can make donations on there. Speaking of which, we want to thank Kathy. Kathy went on our YouTube Super Chat, and she made a generous donation. Kathy says this is all a ploy to privatize government agencies like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and the Postal Service for profit. Kathy, I completely 150% agree with you. And, these are dangerous times that we're living in, and I'm with you. Also, Shelley, thank you for your donation, says they probably scrubbed the Epstein files. Yeah, there you go. Let's blame Hillary Clinton for that one, shall we? So joining us in studio right now, before we get to the phone calls, and I know the phone lines are full as always. I love it how these right. I always like to poke the bear a little bit. I can't help it, folks, but there are a couple right-wing intolerable radio shows here in Las Vegas. They're all over the country, but there are a couple shows here, and every minute the phone lines are open. The phone lines are open, and they get like one call an hour, and they beg for people to call in. I'm so glad that we have grown such a great audience here that we don't have to do that. So sit tight. The phone lines are not open right now. They are full. You'll never hear that at any other show in Las Vegas, that's for sure. But joining us in studio right now, he is a longtime lieutenant. He served this country as a police officer, and he did it quite well. Leonard Cardinale going to be co-hosting with me for the remainder of the show. Leonard, it is good to see you, my friend. It's been a little while. You've been under the weather. I've been under the weather, but how you doing, man?
Oh, just loving life, loving retirement.
Good, good. Well, you deserve it.
Thanks for having me.
You worked hard. You deserve it. I want to ask you before I get to the calls about this. So Donald Trump, as all of you know, has come up with this absurd ploy to charge people $5 million for a green card. He's calling it a gold card. What do you make of this? Is that even legal? I thought this was America first. Like,
it looks to me like an attempt to exchange, get rid of possibly lower income people that maybe didn't fit his narrative, and now get some oligarchs. He said, I know some Russian oligarchs, and they're very nice people. And people are saying that they're going to move here, a couple of 100,000. But I was wondering, can they get the $5 million on credit? You think they can use credit?
I don't know. That's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
can they be like, well, I don't really have it right now, but
let me tell you something. Speaking of credit, let me tell you something. Here's what every Democrat in this country should do. Every Democrat that's in office say, when we get back in power, meaning when we are running everything, which hopefully is sooner than later, not only are we going to revoke your citizenship, we're going to deport you and you're not going to get a refund. That's what they should do. I'm telling you. That's what I would, if I'm Hakeem Jeffries, which he wouldn't do. I'm very disappointed in Hakeem Jeffries these days. I would get up there and I would say, we are going to deport you if you buy a $5 million gold card. We're going to deport you. You're not going to get your money back and you're not welcome back. That's what I would do.
Well, that's kind of what Trump said when they said people have birthright citizenship, and they were talking about the Haitians in Ohio, right, saying they have citizenship, and they came right out and said whatever they have, we're undoing as soon as they get elected.
Well, I think Democrats should start playing that game as well. I really do. I just think it's ridiculous. Can you imagine? I would imagine you have some friends that work in the government that they get this email out of nowhere saying, what have you done in the last week, or something along those lines, from Elon Musk? Like, what is he doing?
Well, he doesn't understand that when you're in certain positions, everything you say is trackable and accountable. And anything that you write in an email, as law enforcement, for example, can be brought up in any lawsuit, anywhere, anytime. And your words, once documented, matter. So they had to be very careful what they were going to say. Some people made it a joke, but what does it say that, like, if you had a Walmart with 200 employees and you had waste, fraud, and abuse, you would come in and look, you wouldn't just fire everyone and close Walmart.
Right. Of course not.
You would come in and you would see where the waste and the fraud and abuse. Fraud, it would be criminal. You know, waste, obviously you got to take care of that. And I think that's just a talking point, that they're all using waste, fraud, and abuse. And when you ask them what it is, any referrals, has anybody broken the law? They have nothing to say.
I think that's the entire Republican Party today. For the most part, they're all a bunch of talking points and conspiracy theories and lies. Like, for example, the budget that just went through, and they said, well, Democrats don't want the no tax on tips policy, when no tax on tips wasn't even in there. I mean, it's it's such a joke. All they do is lie. Thank you, Vegas Paul. We appreciate you. Vegas Paul in the super chat said, I would like you to join Blue Sky. I'm already part of Blue Sky, Vegas Paul. I've been on Blue Sky for a few months, so check me out on there. Like to see the spouses of Patel Hegseth and Cheryl Hines on your show. I don't know if they'd want to come on this show.
Probably not going to happen.
Probably not going to happen. Although, you know, it's funny. I was watching Curb Your Enthusiasm last night on HBO, and I like Cheryl Hines, but I've lost a lot of respect for her. I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Vegas Paul, for your donation. All right, 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's start off with Jesse, who's calling out of California. What's up, Jesse?
Hey, how's it going, sir?
Good.
How are you?
Good.
Well, I got a story for you, man.
I'm ready. Let's hear it.
So, 2 weeks ago, I was working at the VA, Los Angeles, mind you, and I have a calendar invite from my director who says, hey, calendar meeting in half an hour. And, of course, I call my bosses. They're lost. They have no idea. I go on the call, and somebody from D.C., in other words, Doge, is on the call with my director.
Wow. From
Los Angeles, mind you. I'm a federal employee, and they fire me.
Wow.
And they said to me, and I quote, hey, You can't speak on this call. There's no union for you. I'm like, there's no union for me. I'm part of the AFG. We don't care. Shut up and blah, blah, blah. And they literally terminated me.
And did they give you a reason?
Yeah, they said performance. All bullshit. Now, this is important for you. Check your Twitter because I sent you a message a minute ago. Guess who I was awarded by 6 months ago? I got an award from somebody.
Who?
The VA Undersecretary Josh Jacobs. They
Really?
gave me an award for the Employee of the Quarter.
Wow.
I sent you a picture to your Twitter. So in other words, they fired me for performance. Yet 6 months ago, I received an award from the VA Undersecretary. What's that tell you, man?
It's all, like you said, it's BS. It's nonsense. You probably were doing a really good job there, and they don't care. They don't. Let me ask you another question. Are you anti-Trump like I am? Do you post
stuff? Of
stuff?
course I am.
So let me ask, there's a reason why I'm asking you that. I think you know the reason. Do you think that had something to do with your firing?
Of course. And here's why. So 2 weeks before the firing, we got these emails, and I'm sure you heard about the emails.
Yeah.
Oh, DEI BS. And the VA had a template to send to all the employees. Oh, DEI is BS. DEI is a waste of money for the American people. All this BS.
Yeah.
So I messaged my director. We were all pissed. I messaged the union. I'm like, wait a second. Do I work for the Trump administration now, or am I still a VA employee? What's this garbage? And so I think that feedback came back to them, knowing this guy got an Employee of the Quarter. This guy was our shining star, but now we think he's actually a Biden guy. Get rid of him. And that's what happened.
Wow. Well, Jesse, let me tell you something, my friend. You're going to be okay. You're going to land back on your feet. I know that doesn't sound great right now, and it doesn't solve all of your problems, but I'm with you. I'm sorry that this has happened to you, and I'm sorry that we are in an oligarchy and we are in a dictatorship, my friend. Here's what I want you to do.
Guess what, though?
Yeah.
Guess what, though? I have one thing for you.
Yeah.
I did submit a congressional inquiry to the VA, who, by the way, they're yet to respond to, so they're afraid, man. So I'm fighting back, believe me.
Please continue to fight back. If there's anything we can do on this show to help you, I'm here for you. I want you to keep calling in, and I want you to update me, okay? Please do so, and I'm going to share your story on all my social media platforms for everybody to hear, and that is my promise to you, and we will do that today, okay?
Sounds like wrongful
And by the way, please, one last thing too, to all the veterans out there, thank you for your service. Even though you don't think that people care, people actually care about it. So thank you.
Absolutely, and I'm one of them, Jesse. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your call, my friend.
God bless you.
God bless you as well.
Hey, quick question, Brian. You know of any veterans groups that are stepping up for the veterans and fighting for them and put their face on the map and said, this is wrong, 6,000 employees, no matter. So nobody's taking the lead on that?
No, not that I know of. Not that I know of.
Not that I know of.
Not that any organizations that are here locally, that I know of, that's for sure. It's unfortunate, and I feel bad for Jesse. And I knew it when he said this happened to him. It didn't surprise me when he said he's anti-Trump. James, thank you for your super chat donation. Very generous of you of $20. Says, I want to know, when do you think Elon will take over as president? I think he already has. James, I think he already has, to answer your question. Let me be very clear on this. It's President Elon Musk and it's First Lady Donald Trump. That's exactly what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen. And I say this seriously, I think there is a better chance that Elon Musk is sleeping with Donald Trump than Donald Trump is sleeping with Melania Trump. I'm just going to be very clear on that, okay? 702-221-7283. I love my Canadian listeners, and it seems like we're getting new Canadian listeners every single day. Let's go to Yvonne. Yvonne is calling from Canada. Hi, Yvonne.
Hey, Brian. I've called you before. A couple weeks ago, I spoke to you. I got my T-shirt, just so you know, because we were emailing back and forth.
Great.
And
are you talking about the
"Don't
Be a Right-Wing Buffoon" T-shirt with my face on it? Is that
yes?
Oh, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay,
and she
good.
wears that in public?
I'm wearing it today.
I love it. I love it.
And we had elections. Our provincial elections were today, so I went out and voted with my shirt on.
I love it.
Wow.
I absolutely love it. I love it. And, you can continue to boo Donald Trump for me. I know you're not booing America. You're booing Donald Trump. And I don't blame you. I will boo along with you.
Yeah, we love Canada.
Most definitely, we are not booing every American. We are just booing all the MAGA buffoons and Donald Trump and his regime. Yeah. It's scary stuff for you guys. I feel bad.
It is. It is scary. But you know what? We're going to be okay. Wear your shirt pridefully. And I appreciate you supporting what we do here. She went on pushingthelimits.live and she bought a "Don't be a right-wing buffoon" shirt with my face on it. So come on, you can't beat that, ladies and gentlemen. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Brandon. Brandon is calling from California. What's up, Brandon?
Hey, Brian, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Okay, good. Well, I'm hoping I can get this call in really quick because I dropped my phone in a wishing well. Don't tell me how don't ask me how it happened.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
You saw a naked
okay.
picture
Well,
of Donald Trump and you lost your coordination for a
Yes.
moment. Yes, there you go.
Yes,
Yep,
that's
yep.
exactly what happened.
Understandable.
Or a photo of Elon Musk. Well, oh God. Well, I like that joke that you made about Lindsey Graham. You said something about him.
Oh, no. Hold on. I'll do it in front of the camera right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm teabagging, okay? I'm teabagging my tea right now. I'm teabagging. And I've heard that Lindsey Graham also enjoys teabagging. So I'm teabagging right now. And God, this is for Lindsey Graham. Oh man! Thank God I'm a professional teabagger. Otherwise, this tea would not taste as good as it is.
Yes.
Okay, Lindsey Graham
so
might
what I
do the
called
show
about-
now. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, so what I called about is I'm pretty amazed, honestly, at the chutzpah that Elon Musk has been exhibiting lately with all these. I mean, the dude, he didn't go through any process. There's no vetting for this dude, and he's just slashing all these programs that people depend upon. Like people, this is going to cost people's lives, man. This is crazy.
But you're right. But my friend, they don't care. This is what I've been saying about so many of these people in Washington, D.C. for so many years. And now we're talking about Elon Musk and Donald Trump. They don't care. Donald Trump hates you. He hates me. He hates ordinary Americans. And if people don't believe me, go ahead and pedal on to Mar-a-Lago. Okay, those are the people that he cares about, his billionaire friends. He doesn't care about everyday people.
A lot of what Elon Musk is doing is reminiscent of South Africa back in the day.
Right.
Yep.
That's where he got his model from, in part. And the other part probably from Germany.
It was his father and his grandfather that were involved with that?
I believe so.
That's unbelievable, man.
It's unbelievable.
But all these stories.
But listen, we're going to get through this as a country together. We're going to find a way to get through it. We're going to find a way to get through it together on this show every day. That's why I always give people like you the opportunity to call in.
He's got a lot of money.
And watch me teabag my tea every day. Maybe not every day, but anyway. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Dave. Dave is calling out of Ohio. What's up, Dave?
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Hey,
Make
good.
sure you throw some honey while you're teabagging there, but that's for a different dose.
Lindsey Graham once gave me that tip.
Advice.
Wait. When I say tip, I have to be very careful when I talk about Lindsey Graham. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I digress.
Sorry, I had to say something funny too. But I was just watching CNN Money and stuff like that over the last few days, and just listening to different pieces and stuff. And they're saying we're about 100,000 federal employees, and hearing your one guest a couple calls back. And here's the thing: I'm wondering if these mega buffoons and everybody thinks. When you start laying off, when unemployment goes off, people spend less. When they spend less, that means your billionaires are not getting income.
Right.
So it's a vicious circle. So, I mean, does the orange buffoon realize he's shooting himself in a way in the foot?
Or the ear.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah. Go
What
ahead.
you're talking about is austerity,
Yeah.
not prosperity. And if you look at a macroeconomical model over a long period of time, austerity does not work. It helps the bottom line. It looks good, but austerity is something that will make them go broke. What you need is prosperity, because when you pay people and you employ people, their money becomes your money. So I think you're 100% right.
Yeah, I tend to agree as well.
I don't.
Yep.
Well, real quick, I know you got a lot of people on. They also just showed the top 5 stores within the next 3 years to file bankruptcy. 2 of them, which I know would be in Vegas, and that shocked the heck out of me. One was Lowe's Home Improvement. The other one was Kohl's.
Well, Kohl's products are pretty.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything bad about a company, but the Kohl's products are.
I'll
pretty
say
weak.
I'll say something about a company. Trump University. How that company worked out. It was a university company. Yeah. Trump steaks, Trump water, Trump watches, Trump memorabilia,
Chinese
Trump,
Bibles.
Yeah. Chinese Bibles. Trump Lee Greenwood, Donald Trump Bibles, Trump trading cards. Okay. Trump gold sneakers that are made probably for $5, sold for $500.
I heard you can't make a jump shot in those, just so you know, because the gold is not pliable, and so you cannot actually jump. You can just walk.
He should sell a pair of sneakers that just eat KFC and sit on their fat ass every day. Those are the sneakers that Donald Trump should be selling, to be quite honest with you. All right, let's go to Ace. Ace is calling out of Alabama. What's up, Ace?
Hey, man, you a teabagger? You sound like a carpetbagger, man. Gee whiz, don't let me have to open up a barrel of whoop ass down there. Are you from the north?
Is that Roy Mercer? It sounds like Roy Mercer.
I don't know who that is. Ace, so did you vote for Donald Trump?
Actually, no. I was just pulling a prank.
Oh, you got me.
He's doing Roy Mercer.
Ace, I got to be honest with you. That was a very, very, very good impersonation. You sound like you're from the show Duck Dynasty.
Thank you, brother. Yes, sir. I'm definitely a Democrat stuck here in the great state of Alabama.
In your accent, Ace, can you play a Donald Trump supporter for me? And can we role play here for for a minute? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, we make that work.
All right.
I'll get first question.
All right, go ahead.
So was Barack Obama responsible for 9/11?
Man, I think he was, yeah.
You had to think about that for a second, Ace.
Yeah, he must have been
I believe he was.
pre-election.
Yeah.
So tell me why you voted for Donald Trump, sir. Be honest. Tell me what were the things about, like, you think he's an honest man, a good-hearted man? Tell me, Ace, why did you vote for Donald Trump?
Man, I think, man, I believe he is the only man who can get us back up on our feet again. I think Biden had just us into the ground after that COVID. I don't understand why he couldn't bring us back from Donald. Gee whiz, Donald done such a great job. Yes.
What would you say about the liberals? I mean, and all the pedophiles on the left out there. Like, what would be your message to them? The ones that voted for Kamala, they like to call, let's call her Kamala. What would you say about the left-leaning liberals that voted for Kamala, sir?
Well, I really don't think about them a whole bunch. They ain't a whole, yeah. I try to put them out of my mind. That's the reason, the reason I'm a Trump supporter.
Yeah. Have you bought any of the Bibles or any of the Trump memorabilia? Like, have you bought any of that stuff? Tell us what you bought, sir.
I'm thinking about a guitar. I know he's making them right over there in Washington, ain't he? He's making them right there in Washington. They American made. I'm gonna get me 2 or 3 of them.
So forgive me, sir, but I have a bet with Leonard, and we have an over/under on how many teeth you have. The over/under is 3.5. Can you tell us? I have the under. It's not funny. It's a serious bet, sir. We need to take this serious. I bet the under. He bet the over. Can you tell us how many teeth you have, sir?
Well, man, I'm working on. I still got about. I'm thinking it's a little over 15. Can you believe it?
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
if you're a true MAGA supporter, you'd have done this. Have you ever waited in line for more than 8 hours to get a MAGA hat?
Yes, sir. I'm wanting Mr. Trump to send me one right there from the White House. I believe he can send one right there where he's at. Ain't that where he's selling them?
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most anger, how angry were you at the Tom Hanks Saturday Night Live skit where he played you? Because it sounds like he played you.
Well, man, I do like Tom Hanks, and if he's playing me, he probably did a good job. Gee whiz, man, I like everybody plays me.
Sir, do you live in a mobile home?
Yes, sir.
You do?
No, I don't actually.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
Did your house have 4 wheels?
We can't make this poor guy keep playing stupid because he sounds like a nice, smart guy, but he just plays a very stupid one
terrific.
On radio. Hey, I appreciate you, my friend. You did a good job. I want you to call back and play the stupid Trump supporter on the show. You're very good at it. It's a skill that you have.
I appreciate it. Oh, dang sure do it, man. I wanted to get you a little worse, but yeah.
Y'all have a good day.
I want you to call back now. You come back now. You hear?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. That was great. That guy was awesome. 70222. He got me fooled there for a little bit. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Let's go to Mary, who's calling from Massachusetts, home of the Boston Celtics. What's up, Mary?
Hey. Well, I've been kind of worried about these Trump gold cards and thinking that, if Trump's already saying he's planning to give these to his Russian oligarch friends, which is worrisome because once they get like American citizenship, he'll try to have them be eligible to get their sanctioned Russian funds.
Sure.
Which that's going to be the way the Ukraine war was going to get paid, and he's going to pull the rug out financially for the Ukraine funds and the funds that were destined to cover the EU. And I think that's part of where he's going with that.
Could be.
And I think that, yeah. The other thing I wanted to bring up is that it seems like this country is sort of under this, what they call psychops, which is sort of something the Russians do, the KGB does. It's like this thing with, you kind of like have all this turmoil news-wise with things coming at you quickly, boom, 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 boom.
Psychological
We're
operation.
going to do this. No, we're not. Yeah, we're going to do this. No, we're not. And it's like this constant churning of information. And they use this in other countries to destabilize.
Yeah.
So
I can't sit here, my dear. I cannot sit here and tell you that everything's going to be okay, because I'm not sure it is. And what concerns me the most about this whole situation, if we're talking about Vladimir Putin right now, which I think we are, what concerns me the most is this: not just the good people in Ukraine, our allies, and the hundreds of thousands of people that have already lost their lives, but Donald Trump, eventually, this is going to happen to end this war. He is going to reward Vladimir Putin. And when you
he already is.
Right, correct. And when you reward somebody for invading another country, they're going to do it again. Putin will do it again. Now, it might not be in the next 3.5 years. He might have some sort of agreement with Trump that, hey, as long as I'm president, you're not going to do this again. But it will happen again.
I think he's got something going on where he plans to be on this side causing chaos and probably doing military action on this side.
I'm not going to say, my dear, that you're wrong.
That came right out of Steve Bannon's mouth. He said when they were going to war or whatever, he said, he told Donald Trump, he advised him they should have come up with 3 new things every day because of the amount of overload of information and confusion doesn't let anybody know what your real goal is. And we all know it's to get as much money and power as he can.
Can you imagine, Leonard, in the days and hours and days after 9/11, if there were other countries that offered Al-Qaeda concessions and that said, hey, we don't want you to, invade anybody else, but we'll give you this, this, and this. Take some of America's land.
Or how about blaming us for starting it?
Yeah, or blame it, correct. Or if a guy like a President Xi, had said something like that, or any president for that matter, had called Al-Qaeda smart, called Osama bin Laden smart, said that we started it, called George W. Bush a dictator, which I know some people have already called him that, but that's another story for another show. People would lose their minds in this country, and rightfully so. Imagine what people in Ukraine are thinking about us right now and thinking about the comments that Donald Trump has made about Zelensky and about, in particular, Vladimir Putin. All right, let's get back to the calls. Who are we going to next here? Let's go to Dominic. Dominic is calling out of Arkansas, home of Slick Willie, right? What's up, Dominic?
How's it going? Can you hear me?
Yes, go right ahead.
Big fan. I've been listening for a while, and from Arkansas, like you said. And I got a question. I'm concerned about the debt, which I think most of your listeners and you would be too. I mean, 37 trillion or something like that. That's obviously very big. And I want to keep this on Elon Musk because I've been a fan of his for a long time, and I feel like the left has really drove him away from, him wanting to be a part of their side and drove him towards the right. And I think if not for Elon Musk to get a $37 trillion problem out of the way from America, then who? I mean, would you put faith in lawmakers or anybody to do anything that they say? I just look at his history and what his companies have done aim to do for America and the world, frankly. I mean,
well, hold on. Let me. Are you saying that you have faith in Elon Musk? I'm trying to understand.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I'm basically coming from the point of I have faith in. If I have more faith in him than any lawmaker.
I can honestly say I don't think he cares about.
All right.
People like this, small people like.
So that's what I was going to ask the caller. Let me ask you a question. Since you do say you have faith in Elon Musk, and that's fine. Let's have a conversation about that. But do you think all of a sudden the richest man in the world woke up one day and he said, I'm going to donate almost $500 million to the Trump campaign because I really care about America, and I want to work 15 hours a day saving America and saving wasteful spending because I just care about the United States of America. And I don't care if I lose money, which, by the way, we know that hasn't happened. He's made over $1 billion since Trump has been in office, and that's proven with some of his companies. But you think he just woke up one day and said, I really care about the American people and I want to save the country from all this wasteful spending? Is that what you think?
Partially. I also believe that he looks at the $37 trillion problem and realizes that nothing's going to happen and we will, in fact, soon probably become bankrupt. I mean, I just don't.
No, we can't
the rate
go
of the
bankrupt.
government spending, I feel, is so out of control. I mean, in 5-10 years, it's going to be $50 trillion?
So what has he uncovered? What has he shown? What has he shown publicly? What has he done? Because they keep talking about fraud. Let me ask you this. If they keep talking about fraud and all this fraud that they've allegedly found, which they haven't shown, by the way, you would agree with me that fraud is a crime, right? In the United States of America, if you commit...
Absolutely.
Okay, so why have they not given out any names? Why have there been no arrest? Why
No
have
referrals.
Why have there... Right, I was just going to say that. No referrals, no charges. If he claims there's all this fraud, where are the charges and where are the referrals? Or could it be that Elon Musk is full of it?
I couldn't agree more. I feel like fraud is a term that shouldn't be used.
Then why is he
I'm
using
sure
it?
somewhere-
Why is he using it?
I feel like he does use it sometimes, but it's kind of taken out of context for basically a talking point to basically, I mean, it's
that's
more
what
than
it is,
just fraud. It's wasteful spending and seeing the whole issue.
So
I
to
don't think
go
fraud
through
should be used.
to go through the red tape, when you say it's a talking point, that's another way of saying he's just lying. He's lying so that people believe that he's actually doing something, when in return he only cares about himself and enriching himself and his investors. I understand, but a talking point sometimes can still be true. This is a lie. It's a blatant lie. And until they show me actual, real fraud, then I will believe it. But all the guy does is he shows up in the White House in his ridiculous outfit and his indoor sunglasses, looking like a 12-year-old, because sometimes that's the way he acts. And I don't care how much money he has. I could care less about that. This is the guy that you think is going to save this country, and he just cares about us so much. Then why is he eliminating the little man? Why is he firing people with no cause?
He's the solution at all. I do not think he's the solution at the end. He is a start to a process. I don't think anybody in Washington takes it seriously. I don't think any of the government spending bills coming up, and it's probably going to be a CR. I don't think anybody cares. Everybody there.
What do you
cares
think
about
that got
themselves.
fired?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Who do you think would take it more seriously? Like a guy like a Pete Buttigieg, who was in that position, or an Elon Musk? Who do you think would do a better job? Who do you think would be a more serious person that would do more good than harm? Elon Musk, or just hypothetically speaking, if a guy like a Pete Buttigieg was in that position?
I didn't really follow that. I apologize.
Well, hold on. Pete Buttigieg is a guy that's lived paycheck to paycheck for most of his life. I would call him a serious lawmaker. I would say that he's an intelligent guy, but more importantly, he knows what it's like to struggle. I certainly would think that he wouldn't just recklessly fire a bunch of people for investigating January 6th or firing some government workers, some of whom are anti-Trump. I can't imagine Pete Buttigieg would do something like that, go after people for political reasons. And I think this is a Elon Musk retribution tour, just like with Donald Trump, is he's going to go after people that he thinks has done him wrong. That does not do anything for America and everyday working people. It only does something for Elon Musk, and I have a serious problem with that. And what about the conflict of interest?
He's playing both sides.
Exactly.
He's getting private contracts, and he works for the government.
Sure. And what about the conflict? Yeah.
His contracts for the government, I would argue that he provides a far superior service than most. Just take, for instance, SpaceX. He saves the government money in that process. He doesn't win that
it's inside ball. It's inside. He is inside the government getting private contracts.
He just had a spaceship. He just had one of his. Didn't one of them just blow up like a month and a half ago?
Couple of them did.
And because of that, the FAA had to ground all, which might have saved lives the way things are going right now. But I mean, here's a guy. I don't understand why people talk about that so much. I mean, not only that, but what about gutting the FAA and Elon Musk leaning on Donald Trump in the first few days of his administration?
6,000 veterans.
Yeah, and
gone.
the guy that ran the FAA was dodged out of town, And then after this horrible plane crash where Donald Trump and Elon Musk blamed it on DEI, then all of a sudden they put somebody else and hire somebody else in there. I mean,
what about USAID?
I agree.
They stopped research for cancer for kids.
He's not the end all be all. I would say, and
I don't think
simply am coming at it from the point of, I think people should take this debt issue more seriously. And nobody's ever even made any progress towards it. I understand when you go into the government and you try to start trimming fat, things are going to go haywire. People are going to be mad. You've had hundreds of years of government stacked on top of each other with more adding than being taken away, and he comes in and starts blasting everybody. I get it. People are going to be mad. People are going to lose jobs, but
he's certainly not
right.
He's certainly not blasting everybody. Donald Trump is the guy who went to the Super Bowl and left at halftime and cost us $20 million. Donald Trump
agree. That's terrible.
Okay, well,
you
said but you said he's blasting everybody. That's not factually accurate. He's certainly not blasting anybody on the far right. He's not blasting Donald Trump.
I shouldn't say blasting. I should say he's coming in and eliminating things.
He hasn't criticized Donald Trump once ever since he's.
I agree. He kisses the ring. I do. I would.
So
agree.
So we agree that he kisses the ring. We agree that he's certainly playing to one side. We agree that he's probably not the right guy for that position. You're telling me there are not more capable people that could be put in that position without the conflict of interest?
Can I say something real quick? And Barack Obama did try to address the deficit. He came up with an idea to create $1 trillion coin, and he wanted to base the deficit on actual coins.
Right.
And guess which party shot the idea down?
Let me guess.
Anybody?
Republicans?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it has been addressed. People have made an attempt, and they get shot down every time. And they want to add $4 trillion right now.
That's what I was just going to say. What about this new budget? You're going to say both sides do it. Well,
they want to add $4 trillion.
Yeah,
That's
Republicans. Donald Trump got us $8.2 trillion in debt in 4 years, and look at this new budget that has passed. And all these Republicans want to talk about fiscal responsibility. A bunch of hypocrite
They
idiots.
literally added $4 trillion to the debt in their budget plan.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, thank you to Millie for your donation. We appreciate you. Also, thanks to Tina for her donation as well. We appreciate you for donating, Tina. Thank you so much. And they're on our YouTube super chat. You could also go to my website, pushingthelimits.live, where you can also make donations and buy merch if you choose to do so. Tina says, whoops, I lost that one. Tina says, I want to remind everyone every day that Trump does not care about anyone. He only cares about money and himself. Well, that's absolutely true. MJ, thank you for your super chat donation. Look no further than Attorney General Bondi. If there was actual fraud, she'd have referrals. Elmo Muskrat. And I like that term, by the way, Elmo Muskrat. I'm liking that one. Thank you both for your contributions. We appreciate you, MJ, as well. Thank you so much. All right, number to call, 702-221-7283 is the number to call. And I also want to thank Pauline for your donation. Pauline went on pushingthelimits.live, and she made a donation. Thank you, Pauline. We appreciate your contributions to the show. All right, who are we going to next here? Let's see. MAGA callers are always scared to call into the show. They're getting thinner
when we were going to get one.
They're getting thinner and thinner by the day because they're not capable of having any conversation of any intelligence. And you know, they're few and far between, I will say.
They don't bring facts.
Yeah. Who are we going to next here? Let's go to Carl. Carl is calling out of Las Vegas. Hello, Carl.
Hey, Brad. I'm glad to hear you're feeling better. Listen, I want to let people, I've talked to a lot of people, and I feel I can hear in their voices and what they say. Psychologically, they're frightened of what's happening to the country. Well, I want people to feel better. And what's going to happen when the midterm elections come around, there are going to be such terrible things done by that time that the Democrats will probably take charge again of the Senate and the Congress, and things will turn around. And I want people not to have this terrible feeling about the future of the country, because it's going to get better.
Oof. I mean, I hope so. I'm just very concerned. I hope so. But as long as Donald Trump is in charge, I'm always going to have a lot of concern, and I'm always going to worry because he's only out for himself and his rich friends.
It doesn't matter whether he's in charge if he doesn't control the Congress and the Senate, which I don't think he will after the midterm elections.
I'm not going to assume that. I'm not going to assume that.
Carl, who this is Leonard. Who's going to lead them to the midterms? Because right now, you need someone with a plan, and they have to be telling the people how to have a plan, how to get together. And right now, Jasmine Crockett, people like that, they say, let's shine a light, let's hold people accountable, but there's no leadership. There's no Hakeem Jeffries, great speaker, great orator, but he has no plan.
I think the people themselves are going to be the leaders, because when they see by the midterm elections what happens to their expenses, prices are going to go ridiculous. They're going to be very unhappy, the people who voted for Trump, and they're going to start changing and voting Democratic. The people themselves are going to change it. You're going to see. That I'm confident on.
Without a strong leader, I don't know. I hope you're right.
I think so.
We'll see.
I really do think so.
We'll see what happens, Carl. I appreciate your positivity. I'm just a little bit worried. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Let's go to Rick. Rick is calling out of Ohio. Hey, Rick, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, buddy? I called you the other day, and I told you that I grew up in Detroit in the 60s and the 70s when 1% had 5% of the wealth. 3 books, radio show, blah, blah, blah. Right now, what is happening is Bitcoin is crashing. And what Donald Trump is, he is a tool for 5 banks. That's Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, BlackRock, the Guggenheim, and the Carlyle Group. And if you go into those banks, there's no American dollars. It's all Bitcoin. It's all Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Now these 10 billionaires, you can name them, their entire wealth relies on Bitcoin. As Bitcoin crashes, the stock market is going to crash. In fact, what is amazing is that if you go back to the flu was literally a bailout, and they literally, the stock market crashed a third in a couple of weeks. It went down 1,500 points in a minute. They closed the market down. They open it up. It starts to crash again. What happened at that point, they injected $10 trillion into the market. And that's when Bitcoin goes crazy. So what Bitcoin has been and is, it's a leveraging instrument that took the place of the derivatives that were attached to the dollar in the bank accounts. There's no more bank accounts. There's no more dollar. So Donald Trump's entire freedom is based on Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is crashing. It's crashing as we speak. I looked a couple of weeks ago, it was at like 100,015. It's at 80,000 right now. So, and you were just talking about how this is going to end up. The Democratic Party ended. Now, I'm from Detroit. Ended the day Bill Clinton signed NAFTA. So there is no Democratic Party. In fact, the liberals that people talk about, those are the people that are attached to them 5 banks.
Yeah.
And then if you look at who are the billionaires, they're all from California.
Mm-hmm.
And like I told you, if you look at the past 45 years, which wiped out democracy, capitalism, the Constitution, Christianity, it was all destroyed from the north, from these 3 states. And then if you look at what Trump is doing now versus his first term, he put 4 or 5 people from the state of Texas in the most powerful positions. They put the head of Exxon as the Secretary of State. I think Perry was the Energy Secretary. Brady was the Commerce Secretary. The other idiot was something. So now that's over. The ability to use the petrodollar to rule the world is done. It's over. It's never coming back.
Yeah.
And all that's left now is Bitcoin. And you're going to watch as Bitcoin crashes. You're going to watch Donald Trump wilt like a weed, because this is what he's been put into power for.
Yeah.
To keep Bitcoin and Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan and the Carlyle Group. These are hedge funds. These are exchange traded funds. So right now the whole thing is completely collapsing. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, all pensions, they're going to crash. Yeah. They're going to completely crash.
Listen, it probably will happen. But at the same time, you have so many in Donald Trump's MAGA cult base that will blame it on Joe Biden, that will blame it on Barack Obama, that will blame it on the deep state. So it really doesn't matter what happens, so long as they have somebody else to blame.
What do you guys think will happen Tuesday? You think Donald Trump will back off again and cower and run away, or you think the tariffs will actually be imposed?
It's a good question. We know that he backed away from it or gave it a 30-day extension last time around. I don't know.
It's coming Tuesday.
It is coming Tuesday. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
I think he's going to back down again.
He probably will. Probably. But
if you watch the stock market, and the stock market's not responding well to that.
Yeah, probably will. I would probably lean in your direction. Let's go to Frank. Frank is calling out of Wisconsin. What's up, Frank?
How you doing? Brian, I saw on Midas Touch they had that woman that was at the town council meeting, and the security guys were grabbing her to take her out, and they were. She was saying, "I'm a Democrat and I have a voice," and one of them said, "You don't have a voice anymore."
Who said you don't have a voice? Say that again.
She's talking about a video that was online where they removed a female at a conference.
I know.
Okay.
That she was the one you were talking about a couple of days ago. That they were trying to boot out of the town council meeting.
Did boot her out.
And she said, "I'm a Democrat. I have a right to say what I have to." And one of them said, "You don't have a voice anymore."
Well, here's my thoughts on that. And I have not seen that video, but just in general terms, they always, people on the far right always want to talk about freedom of speech until they don't like what somebody is saying. So any of these MAGA right-wing Republicans that want to preach freedom of speech, you're censoring me, are the same hypocrites that want to censor people on the left. So, they have zero credibility and they have no ground to stand on when it comes to freedom of speech. So that would be my my statement to that. It seems like a lot of people that are crying freedom of speach are some of the same people.
Freedom of speech is subjective now.
Right. Yeah, you're right about that. All right, here's what I want to do. I want to take one more quick break. And then when we come back, we will get back to the phone calls. Also, of course, the YouTube Super Chat. We're going to be reading your questions and comments on there. My personal website, pushingthelimits.live. Leonard Cardinal joining us in studio. Long time North Las Vegas Police Department lieutenant, and of course, current president of the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 4.
Former president.
Former president, I should say. Yes, correct. Of the Police Lodge 443. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll get more to your phone calls on the other side. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Ringwood Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and fees. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
Have you ever dreamed of having your own radio show or a podcast, but just didn't think it was possible? Well, dreams can come true. Radio U. Radio U is a 5-day course that'll teach you how to acquire your dream show. We'll teach you how to host, how to write commercial, how to interview, how to market, how to write a contract, and most importantly, how to monetize your dream radio show. You'll learn from some of the best in the business with over 75 years in broadcast experience. You'll learn from people like me. And the best part? Every single student will be live on the radio as part of the class. Plus, one student from each class will get their very own radio show. You'll be live on the air right here in Las Vegas. Radio U. The 5-day course is being offered at $699. For more information, give Radio U a call. 702-763-5024. That's 702-763-5024. Or check them out at RadioYOU101.com.
It's time to wake up and win the weekend. You're listening to the boss of the big ball. JP the Cat, giving you that grease. Join me every Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Time for the live action on Vegas Scoreboard Express on KSHP 107.1 FM and AM 1400. Dive into the game day with my in-depth analysis, expert predictions, and winning plays from the sharpest minds in sports betting. It's more than just placing bets. It's about securing wins. Head over to jbtheticket.com and be sure to tune in to KSHP this weekend from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Time to ride the winning wave with VSX. Tune in and get your money back from the sports book. All money, all sports, no bull. Missed the live show? Subscribe to Vegas Scoreboard Express on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, and wherever you enjoy your favorite podcasts and radio listening.
All right, what's going on? Thank you so much for joining us. It's Pushing the Limits on a Thursday. Glad to be with you. We got Leonard in studio as well. Also want to thank Karen, who went on pushingthelimits.live and made a very generous donation. Thank you, Karen, for your support of the show. And, of course, all of those in the YouTube Super Chat. We appreciate all of you. And Jackson's Bar and Grill, the official gaming bar of the PTL radio show. Check them out, Flamingo and Jones. If you're in Vegas, if you don't live in Vegas and you come to Vegas, trust me, you won't get better food and atmosphere in a legendary local pub as you would at Jackson's Bar and Grill, and a chance to win a lot of free stuff, including up to $500 in free slot play during a Vegas Golden Knights game. Check them out, Jackson's Bar and Grill, located at Flamingo and Jones. So there's a lot of stuff that we've been talking about today. The $5 million green cards, as he is calling them, gold cards, Cheeto Jesus. That's what he should name them. He said them orange cards. That's really what they should be, which is absurd. Prime Minister of the UK met with the president at the White House today, and the president managed to embarrass himself in a very, very, very short period of time. He still doesn't know how tariffs work and how they are paid. He was asked about calling Zelensky a dictator. He said he didn't recall even saying that when he said it at CPAC, and then he said it in a Truth Social tweet. So he's either senile or a liar, or maybe both. And then Starmer had to correct Trump on conditions of British aid. I mean, again, every single time a world leader seems to come here to the White House, Trump seems to embarrass himself on a regular basis. So we're talking about that, of course, and Pam Bondi, releasing part of the Epstein files today, which really had nothing in it for anybody really to talk about except for some flight logs. By the way, we learned in the Maxwell trial that Donald Trump was on Epstein's flight logs at least 7 times.
I was thinking maybe it was just not the right names that she wanted to release.
That's true. Maybe they're making some changes to some of the documents there, because some of them might have Donald Trump's name in it in some very bad places, hypothetically speaking. 702-221-7283. What do you say we go to the MAGA destroyer? Let's go to Darlene. We always love having Darlene on the show. Darlene from Oklahoma. Darlene, what's going on?
Hey, you two sexy guys, we got to talk. Now listen, Brian and Leonard. It happened today, so I don't know if you saw it or not. Did you know that Trump wants to have a $250 bill with his face on it?
I did see
That's
that.
what he wants now.
Yeah, I did see
and
that.
a statue.
Yep.
And he's talking about Mount Rushmore.
And another thing, let's talk about Elon. Whoever that man that was called a while ago, dude, you need to go watch some Midas Touch videos, and you'll learn a lot of things. But Elon, he uses his kids as props, and not only that, he's on video. I watched it just the other day. He left his kid behind him. He goes running out of a Donald Trump rally. He just is full speed, and the kid is left behind. They literally had to yell at him
I saw
and
that.
tell him that his kid was there.
Did you guys see the video? Yeah, Darlene's talking about. He's going off the stage, and he just walks back, waves to the crowd, and leaves. And his kid is like 30 or 40 feet behind him, and the kid is just left there and doesn't know where to go. It's like what? That's the real Elon Musk. We're getting a glimpse of the real Elon Musk. He only cares about himself. He's in his own circle and doesn't care about anybody else, even when it comes to his own, 3, 4, 5-year-old kids.
Told the president to shut his mouth.
That was actually very funny.
So that's an indication of parenting.
Sure it is. Absolutely it is. I agree. Darlene, you're 100% right.
Well, the last thing I want to say, hey, MAGAs, how is he making America great again? I want somebody to call in and tell Brian and Leonard that.
Yeah. Well,
I dare you.
They would
wouldn't be able to.
Call.
They would only say he's making America white again. That's probably what they would say. Darlene, you're the best. I hope you have a great weekend,
Thanks,
by the
Darlene.
way. Let's go to Julie. Julie's calling out of Tennessee. Hey, Julie, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
Wow. I followed Darlene. I do have some good news. I was able to get my Social Security check, which,
Good.
yeah. So people that are getting Social Security, you will get your check. I got mine. So just keep looking at your bank account, check your mailboxes, all that.
Julie, I have a question. Was your increase in the check?
No.
Do you know when they kick in? Because there were increases that were approved.
No, I didn't see any increase. Then again, they said that they overpaid me a couple months ago, so they may increase it after that overpayment is done because I did work a little over those hours. So,
Well, I think Donald Trump would ask you to donate your entire check to him and his Bibles and his trading cards. I don't know if that's something you're willing to do, but I'm pretty sure Donald Trump would
no,
want
he
you
can
to.
kiss my ass.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
They'll probably charge you for that.
Yeah. Well, when he's done kissing Elon's ass, then maybe he'll kiss yours. Thank you for the call, my dear. I am glad, in seriousness, I'm glad you got that check. We got a Canadian donation on the super chat. The Ottawa guy, thank you, the Ottawa guy. Sean from Canada. Thanks, Sean. Love when you and Leonard are together. Leonard, do you believe tariffs against Canada will never be implemented? Just a bully tactic. So there you go. That's a question.
Oh, he was answering?
Yeah. Well, that's he thinks it's a bully tactic. What do you think?
Well, he's going to turn the whole economy upside down. Wall Street's already responded by going in the negative. And I don't think he understands. I think the one concept he's never really grasped is that when you put tariffs on China, when the goods come over, we have to pay that. So ultimately, they're already saying by Tuesday, if they go into effect, expect to pay 25% more for your same vehicle. So their vehicles are in the 30 to 40 to 50,000. Now you're going to be paying another 25. Who's going to be able to buy those vehicles? What kind of people? Not the average person, I don't think.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's a good question that you ask. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Chuck is next out of New Hampshire. Hi, Chuck.
You're going to be paying another 25.
Chuck, you got to lower your radio, my friend. Chuck's in New Hampshire.
I just
there you go. What's going on, Chuck? Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Brian Leonard, I talked to you a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, about my girlfriend that got a son that's MAGA, and she owns a campground up on the Saco River in Conway, and the whole place is MAGA. I mean, everywhere they got their golf carts with the flags with Trump and this and that, which I couldn't stand. Okay, so what happened was, I took your advice. I dropped the whole relationship. But as soon as I did, every MAGA that became my friend because I was going out with Jan, and they all found out I'm a Democrat, and I voted for Harris, and they all just dropped me as a friend, which I didn't mind at all. I wasn't really their friend in the first place. But I do have a story to tell you. Years ago, I signed up for the Marines when I was cooking, 1971, and I lied on my application, said, I'd never been in an accident, never been hurt. But they found out I had a hairline fracture in my backbone, And I was only in for 6 days, and they terminated me. So I got pissed off, and I went down. We hung around in Four Corners in Woburn. We hung around at a bowling alley and the Golden Q pool hall. And I wrote on the side of the building, "The only dope worth shooting is Nixon." And I had the Secret Service come pick me up and target-graded me for hours and hours, and they couldn't prove that I wrote it. You know, I don't know how they found out, it even came to me. And I just wanted to share that. You know, I hated Nixon and I hated Trump.
Well,
and the reason I hate...
I was just going to say, I know, I'm sorry you said you had a hairline fracture in your backbone, but I would still say that your backbone is probably much stronger than any MAGA Republican that's in office today. I will say that.
Oh, thanks a lot. I appreciate
You
that.
got it. I appreciate your story, sir, and I hope you're okay. We hope you healed properly, and sorry to hear that you had to go through that. Let's go to Joseph.
Have a good day.
Let's go to Joseph, who's calling out of California. What's up, Joseph?
Yeah, hey, Brian.
Hey.
All right. Here's my piece. Hearing RFK Jr. talking about the measles goes to show that he still don't care about what happened to children, just like with Trump. And more importantly, I've been seeing videos about Marjorie Taylor Greene saying that the federal workers do not deserve to have a job or deserve to have their paychecks.
I
But
saw
me
that.
Personally,
Yeah, I saw that. Despicable statements.
as for me personally, those federal workers are the only ones who are doing their jobs, unlike the MAGA Republicans. And I mean, these are the guys who are just doing their jobs. I mean, you got those park rangers who are doing whatever they can to make sure that the national park stays okay, no fires, no nothing. But the problem is, the MAGA Republicans, they don't care.
I think that's the biggest issue, is that they only care about themselves, Joseph, and they only care about remaining in power and maybe their immediate friends and family, but they certainly don't care about people like you and me
Like
and Leonard.
sociopaths.
Right. I mean, that's the problem. These people, they're in power. They don't want to lose their power, and they care more about that than doing the right thing or voting the right way. You know.
By the way, can I ask a question? Did we already challenge the audience to have somebody call in to tell us when America was not great?
I would
because
love
they
to.
want to make it great
Yeah.
again, but when was it not? When was it not?
When women
the
weren't
best?
allowed to vote, when
Yes.
black people weren't allowed to vote. Yeah, I wonder when America was great. Thank you for the call, Joseph. I appreciate you. All right, let's go to Herb. Herb is calling. Hello, Herb.
Hey, Brian, how you doing? And your guest host, I want to say hello to you. I just want to make a comment. I don't want to argue with you today or nothing like that. I just want to make a comment about your show because I like listening to you.
Are you on
I gotta
topic?
tell you this.
Are you on topic or?
Yeah, I'm on topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead then.
Listen, the reason why I called in is because your show's not fun anymore. You know.
Okay, so you're not a Herb.
Quite a bit of fun earlier.
Herb, in your opinion, the show is not fun. By the way, you're not a. Now hold on.
Let me just finish.
I will. I
I'm not
promise.
I'm not going to argue with
Herb,
you, Brian.
I'm not trying to argue with you. We're having a conversation. I'm not trying to argue with you, and I promise I will let you finish if you please remain on the line. Herb, I asked you respectfully, are you on topic? Now, if I started this segment and I said, okay, callers, I want to hear criticism about pushing the limits, that would mean Herb would be on topic. When I ask you if you're on topic, that means I'm asking you, do you have opinions about the stuff that we're talking about today? When you answer the question by saying yes, and then you decide to give criticism of the show, that's not being on topic. That's number one. But I'm still going to let you finish. Number two, okay? Here's the thing, Herb, okay? There are a lot of people that are MAGA supporters like yourself. You voted for Donald Trump. They're not going to find this show entertaining. Maybe they won't find it funny. Some do, but you don't. As much as that breaks my heart, Herb, if you want to go ahead and listen to Clay Travis or Sean Hannity, don't get me wrong, Sean has a wonderful sense of humor, or Mark Levin, don't get me wrong, that guy could be doing stand-up comedy anywhere in the country. If you want to listen to Jesse Waters, who I'm sure you find entertaining, then I would say, Herb, you have the right to do that. But don't start off a conversation by being off topic and then lying about it. At least admit that you're off topic. Now, if you don't think this show is funny or entertaining, Herb, guess what? When I'm listening to a radio show or a television show, I don't take the time with my Trump fingers to call in and complain about the show. You know what I do, Herb? You might find this very difficult, but here's what I do. I flip the station and I listen to another show. So my question to you is, how pathetic are you as a human being that if you don't like something, you don't like a show, that you take the time to call into the show and say, Brian, I don't think you're funny. Hey, Herb, I don't think you're funny. Why don't you call into another show with 3 listeners that struggles with, because guess what? We get tons of calls every day across the country and across the world that like this show. And I could give 2 craps what you think about what I do. In fact, I look at it as a badge of honor, as people like you who continue to defend Donald Trump, who voted for Donald Trump, who call into the show that don't think I'm funny. Herb, why don't you take a hike? Because I don't care. I don't need you, Herb. Does that make sense, Herb? Am I ringing bells in your head? If you don't like a show, listen to another show. Is that so hard a concept for you to understand?
Why doesn't he call those shows then if he doesn't like this one?
Are we not making sense, Herb, or did I insult you?
No, you didn't insult me.
Okay, then why are you calling into the show? Herb, are you on topic? Let's start the call all over again. Herb, are you on topic today? Herb, let's pretend. Herb, I'm gonna give you another chance, okay, Herb? I'm not
on topic.
Thank you for being honest. Okay. Thank you. Okay, now what would you like to talk
I'm
about?
wrong for saying I'm sorry. I said I was on topic.
Okay, I forgive you.
But let me just say that I like listening to your show.
Oh, now you like
because I like to hear the other side.
Am I the other side?
No, this is the truth. It's not the other side.
For me, you are. Yeah.
How am I on the other side? I'm on the other side of what? Let's have a conversation.
Let me say what I have to say.
Okay, but you just said I'm on the other side. The other side of what?
Of me. I'm a conservative. You're a liberal.
Okay, so let's nope.
I bet you he's not a conservative.
You don't get to say things that are not true on this show because I will call you out for it. First of all, I'm not a liberal. I'm just anti-Trump, and your MAGA brain can't handle that. That's number one. Number two, I didn't vote for Barack Obama. I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. Yes, I lean to the left on social issues. I would vote for a ham sandwich over a 34-count felon, okay, liable sexual abuser. So I know you MAGA Republicans out there, every single time somebody actually speaks truth to power, or if I call him the orange orangutan, you get all pent up, in your pantyhose, and you get so upset that you call into this show. That's not funny. He calls him Cheeto Jesus. You've called into this show before because you're a snowflake, and you don't like it when I call him Cheeto Jesus, okay? So I don't care if you think my show's entertaining or not. You listen every day because I've grown on you like a fungus or a Donald Trump Bible, okay, Herb? So spare me your nonsense about you're a liberal and you're on the other side. We're on the side of truth, as Leonard said, okay? I'm going to call out Donald Trump for his lies and the things he says and the things he does every day. And I'm sorry if you don't think that's entertaining enough, okay, Herb? I'm sorry.
Can I ask him can I ask you a question, Herb?
Can you make a comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask? Well, my question is, you said you're a conservative. So maybe you can explain to us where you are as a fiscal conservative when the current administration wants to add $4 trillion to a $36.5 trillion debt. How's that fiscally conservative? You said you're a conservative.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that there's some things in the bill that I'm not aware of.
I just made you aware.
Passed. But I just want to say this.
Notice how he just rolls over what you just said, and he doesn't want to.
Well, he says he's a conservative.
Yeah,
I can't speak in detail about
because you're ill-informed.
He doesn't know what it means.
Because you're ill-informed and you don't know what's in the bill. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So let me just say this.
Yeah, please.
One of the reasons why you get one call, maybe 2 a day, from conservatives
is because I destroy people like you every day. That's why.
No, it's not. That's not right.
Yeah, it kind of is. 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 Yeah. Herb. The reason why. No, I'm mocking you, Herb, because you're trying to make the case that a lot of MAGA people don't call into the show because they don't like me. Good. I wear that as a badge of honor.
That's not why, Brian.
Oh.
Brian,
I'm not.
What do you mean, like they're afraid? Your show.
I'm not entertaining. I'm not entertaining enough for Herb. Hey, Herb, why don't you go to a strip club tonight? Maybe you'll be entertained.
Brian,
go ahead.
The reason why.
Oh, I can't wait to hear his reason. Because I interrupt them and I yell at them all the time. Maybe the reason why is because idiots like you call into this show, and the first thing you say is not about a topic that we're talking about or why you disagree with me about something I said about Donald Trump. But the idiot calls into this show and I don't think you're funny and entertaining enough, but I still listen to you every day. That's why when you call into a show, talk about one of the topics that we talked about. I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that next time, Herb. And guess what? If you don't call in, oh God, I better hang up the microphone right now if Herb doesn't call into this show. I don't know how the show's going to make it. Hey, Herb, let me give you a little bit of advice, okay? For some of the other shows that you call into that get like 2 calls an hour, they need you, Herb. They probably need you more than me. I'll sacrifice, okay?
Our phone lines are booked.
Yeah, you can listen to, but here's a little tip for you, Herb. Next time you call into a show like this one, and there probably aren't many shows out there like this one, tell me why you disagree with me on a specific topic that we've been talking about today. For example, if you think the $5 million green cards or gold cards are a good idea, hey, Brian, I disagree with you about this, and here's why. Go for it. Won't interrupt you. But when you start a conversation, I don't think you're entertaining enough. Holy smokes. Herb, that's why I won't let you talk, because when you start the conversation, you say stupid things, and then you call me a liberal because you're an idiot. Okay, Herb? Have a nice day. 702-221-7283 is the number to call.
He was no conservative.
No, I don't know how the show can go on, though, without Herb calling in. I mean, I'll be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I might have to just wrap it up. This might be the last show. I don't know. Let's go to Irene. I notice how Leonard brings something up that is very obvious about this bill. And the response by MAGA Herb is, oh, I didn't know that was in the bill, but let me talk about something else. I mean, that's how these MAGA brains work. Because
it's all talking points, no facts, no understanding.
Yes, agree. I'm sorry, Irene. Go right ahead.
Hey, first time calling in. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Listen, that idiot you just talked to. Anyway, he's entertaining, to tell you the truth. To me, he is, at least.
Sometimes
he's such an idiot.
Sometimes stupid is entertaining. Like when I see Donald Trump open his mouth, he's dangerous, but at times he's so stupid, I just laugh at him. He's so dumb. So I understand.
Yeah, so I had, I'm surrounded by MAGAs. I live in Atlanta. Anyway, I went to lunch with 2 MAGAs yesterday, and one of them turns around and says to me, hey, how do you like Trump now? We're getting $5,000. And I turned around and looked at her, and I says, we're supposed to be getting rid of a deficit.
It's like $13, actually.
What is it?
It's like $13, actually.
None of that has been approved. None of it.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So I turned around and I said, we're supposed to get rid of a deficit. And on top of that, that's blood money.
Yeah.
That's someone's job.
Yeah.
That's someone's job. Do you not have any, remorse about all these people? They're just going in there and getting rid of them without even looking at what they're doing, how they're doing it. And to this day, I don't understand people like that.
Well,
I really
they're
don't.
gonna. I don't either, my dear. And let me tell you something, Irene. You guys are going to get your $5,000 checks, just like Donald Trump is going to build a wall and Mexico is going to pay for it. Just like Donald Trump is going to hire a special prosecutor to get Hillary Clinton. Just like Donald Trump is going to do no tax on tips. Just like Donald Trump is going to end the war within 24 hours. These are all lies that idiots out there like her believe. Everything that Donald Trump says, they think he's actually going to follow through, which he doesn't. But he did pardon some very violent January 6th insurrectionists. So yeah, for all the white supremacists out there, I'm sure you can applaud him for that.
They also said that the $5,000 checks would not be going to the poor.
Yeah,
that's people
great.
that can use. And just let me say, that's the oldest trick in the book, Irene, is to blame the poor that the rich are not rich enough. It's the oldest trick in the book.
Yeah. But he's going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it.
And that never happened.
Yeah, that's definitely going to happen. Let's go to Vivian. Vivian is next up on PTL. What's up, Vivian?
Hi, Brian. How you doing today?
Good. What's on your mind?
What I think is, like, since the Republicans are shying away from these town halls, that the Democrats should take advantage of that and have their own town house and, like, really tell these people what's happening, because they still delusional. Just like the lady said, they still expecting a $5,000 check. Are they, like, on drugs or something? That's just a crazy thing to even say.
Well, you know what? They might be. Here's what I want to do. Hear me out on this. I think every MAGA Republican should have to take a drug test. We know Matt Gaetz, even though he's not in office anymore, he would miserably fail that one. And I think that if you complain about women and transgender women in restrooms, I think there should be a cup check for Nancy Mace and Marjorie Taylor Greene. And Lindsey Graham. We could throw him in there, too. That's fine. If you don't think that transgender women should go into the women's restroom, then I would ask for a cup check for every single person that goes into that restroom. And then maybe they'll say, okay, maybe we should just let them go in there. Because if, it's only important to them so they can raise money for their campaign and attack a group of people. If you want to attack a group of people, then let's make it inconvenient for everybody. And then let's see how long it lasts. I'm being serious, by the way. I don't know if Nancy Mace is a man. I don't know.
Can I ask you a question? Did you see the interview with the head of the NCAA athletic department? He said there's 510,000 athletes, and they said, how many are transgender? He said, right now, 10.
I think there's like, I could be wrong on this, but I think there's like 7,000 or so Division I college athletes, and I think it's like 13 or 14, but around that number.
He said all colleges
Yeah.
in the United States, 510,000, and 10 were considered transgender.
This is not a
and this
top-
is their major problem. I mean, they're focusing on this 10 people out of a
Right.
500,000.
This is not, Leonard, this is not a top 5 issue. It's not a top 10 issue in any poll around the country, even for the bigots out there, and there's plenty of them. It's not even a top 10 issue. You know what a top 3 issue is in just about every poll? Healthcare. What is Donald Trump's healthcare plan? What is it? What is his healthcare plan?
I couldn't even tell you anything about what direction he's heading.
He doesn't have a plan.
I think they're still drafting it, I think.
Yeah, it still has concepts of a plan.
Yeah, they have concepts and drafts.
Yeah. Let's go to, are we going to Florida next? Is that where we're going? Where are we going to next year? You tell me. Where are we going to? Oh, we're going to go to the UK. All right, let's go to the UK.
wow.
Let's go to Paul calling in from the UK. What's up, Paul?
Hey, hi, Brian. We've been listening to the show. It's very good tonight, but I only came in very late.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to just talk about is a reset on what the what a politician should be doing, which is, of course, representing his constituents. And I'll just give you a very brief story. When in 2009, I became a single dad, and I had to look after 3 very young children and give up all my business interests. And our social services wouldn't give me any help from the government help because I was self-employed. So I went to my local MP and I saw him in his very dingy office and told him my problems, and he listened sympathetically. The next day I got a call from social services saying he had called and they'd okayed my help from the government.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I'm telling this story is because American politicians have become so far removed from what they're supposed to do and who they're supposed to represent. It's just shocking that what they're doing is representing Donald Trump and themselves. And even the Democrats, to some degree, are doing this by not actually fighting for the people. And I give you this story because that was what happened to me was a real politician helping a constituent.
Right.
And that's what this is 1,000 miles apart from what people in the politicians in America are doing. 1,000 miles away what they're doing.
Yeah.
Representing this one hog who is also called Donald Trump, this one monster. They're representing his interest to sustain their interest.
Well, as I say all the time,
to do with the American people.
People vote against their own self-interest.
And now they're learning that.
Yes, and that is the problem that so many people do, my friend. Paul, I'm up against the clock, but I'm glad you shared your story. And unfortunately, people would still do it today. There's a percentage of these people that would still vote for Trump, and some members of their family have been deported. And a lot of these people are losing their benefits, and some of these people are losing their jobs. Let's go to Debbie. Debbie out of Colorado. Debbie, we're going to do rapid fire here, 30 seconds. Go ahead, Debbie.
Hi.
Hi.
For Herb, you're always entertaining when he calls. Herb, Jesus was a liberal. Get over it. As for Darlene, and hear me out before you object, Trump's face should definitely be on Mount Rushmore. On the backside, so Thomas Jefferson has an orange ass.
That's a good one.
And they said we're not even having fun on this show.
Yeah, I know. By the way, this is a message from Jesus. Herb, Jesus loves you, but everybody else thinks you're an a-hole. Let's go to Jack. Jack from Pennsylvania. What's up, Jack?
Yeah, what's going on, Brian? Hey, Leonard. How are you, man?
Hi there.
Listen, I had a bunch of stuff to talk about, but we'll go rapid fire. You brought up an interesting point, and I go into a lot of these right conservative chat rooms, and this is what they talk about: who's the leadership of the Democratic Party. I want to know if the elections were in 2026, who's our president and vice presidential candidate, and who's theirs? Who's their vice president and presidential candidate?
Mm-hmm.
I think my first person that I think should step up and be a leader is Jasmine Crockett. She doesn't have fear. She's massively educated. She's massively experienced, and she's not afraid. The problem is leadership is a quality that maybe not everyone has. Hakeem Jeffries, he's one of the best orators in history, almost as good as Barack Obama. But when you listen to his speech, it's so good. But you're waiting for that leadership moment, And also, I think AOC should be in the running, but again, difficulty with taking on leadership. And I don't know if you agree with that.
I would say my number one right now would be Josh Shapiro as president and Jasmine Crockett as his vice presidential running mate. That would be my number one ticket right now. Obviously, if Michelle Obama could run, I would pick Michelle Obama, but I would go Josh Shapiro and Jasmine Crockett. You could replace Jasmine Crockett with maybe an AOC type. But I think we need, unfortunately, right now, where we're at, we need a man to run for president.
What
of the United
about if the legislation goes through and you can do a third term?
Well, that could be an interesting factor, and that might change my mind a little bit on who I would pick. But Leonard, we're up against the clock here. I'm sorry, Jack. I got to run, my friend. I apologize.
Thanks, Jack.
Leonard, I appreciate you being here as always. It's always fun when you're in studio.
It was fun. Thank you.
We'll do it again very, very soon. And your wife's cookies, by the way, I had a bite of. It was unbelievable. So I'm going to chow those.
I told you
down
he'd love them, Tess.
Yes, they're awesome. So for everybody out there in PTL Nation, thank you so much for being a part of what we do here. We appreciate all your donations, and we really do appreciate you very much, everyone out there. If you want to get more involved in the show and you want to support what we do, we ask that you go to pushingthelimits.live. This is an independently run show. We rely on good people like you. You go to pushingthelimits.live. You can buy some merchandise on there. We sell shirts, hats, beanies, you name it. We sell it on there. You could also make donations. It doesn't matter what it is, whatever you can afford. $5, $10, $20 a month. It'd be much cheaper than a Trump Bible. I can promise you that. That is for sure. And we appreciate that. And also subscribe to my YouTube page at PTL Radio Show. We're approaching 80,000 subscribers now. I feel like we just passed 50,000 like a month ago. It's crazy.
Awesome.
So it's growing by the day, and we appreciate all of you for doing so. Thanks to Numchuck for handling the calls. And tomorrow, PTL will be live back at it. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day, everybody.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who